William Golding, Lord of the Flies. Embark on a gripping journey through the heart of human nature with William Golding's Lord of the Flies, a compelling tale encapsulating the thin veneer of civilization versus our primal instincts. This summary delves into the experiences of a group of stranded boys who, left to their own devices on an uninhabited island, grapple with the delicate balance between maintaining order and descending into chaos. Key themes such as leadership dynamics, symbolized by the conch shell, the tug-of-war between civilization and savagery, and the unsettling underpinnings of mob mentality unfold vividly. Discover how characters like Ralph, Jack, Piggy, and Simon each play pivotal roles in exploring the inherent darkness and loss of innocence in humanity. Prepare for an insightful exploration of this classic novel, which poses profound questions about the nature of good, evil, and the moral struggles that lie within us all.
Civilization's fragile shell. On a desolate island, a group of boys stumble upon a powerful object, a conch shell. With a mighty blow from Ralph, its sound summons the scattered kids, bringing them together to forge a plan for survival. Ralph, elected as their leader over the ambitious Jack, institutes a system of order where the shell grants the right to speak. He organizes tasks, sending groups to scout the island, ignite a fire, and build shelters. At this point, things seem optimistic. However, beneath this fragile order, tension simmers. Jack, tasked with maintaining the fire, fails in his duty, seeding friction with Ralph. The boys soon face a more profound fear, the specter of a mythical beast said to lurk on the island. Ralph dismisses the beast as a figment of imagination, but Jack is convinced of its existence and vows to hunt it down. Gradually, Jack taps into the primal fears and desires of the boys, promising them meat and protection. His authoritarian allure leads many boys astray, seduced by savagery over civility. Those who resist Jack's growing influence suffer violent repercussions, exemplified by the brutal murder of Piggy, who is crushed by a boulder, and the shattering of the conch shell. In the gripping climax, Ralph stands alone against Jack's crew, who relentlessly hunt him across the island. The chase reaches a crescendo when Ralph rushes into a naval patrol officer, drawn to the scene by flames. This serendipitous encounter rescues Ralph from imminent death and marks the end of the island ordeal. Throughout this harrowing tale, the conch shell emerges as a potent symbol of civilization. It initially gathers the boys, maintaining a semblance of order through its democratic mechanism. The shell embodies the notion that social structures, with rules and cooperation, are key to harmony. When Ralph hesitates to use the conch amidst fear and conflict, Piggy pointedly warns, refusing to act would lead them all to abandon civil behavior. This dialogue reflects the fragile balance between order and chaos. Jack's descent into savagery underscores the novel's theme: a thin veneer of society separates humanity from unrestrained primal instincts. Jack's lust for power challenges the democratic ideals Ralph represents, spiraling the boys into barbarity as they discard the conch's authority. The tragedy culminates in Piggy's murder and the destruction of the conch, marking the complete collapse of order. Essentially, this story serves as a stark warning: civilization relies on our commitment to uphold its tenets. Without vigilance, the primal savagery within us all emerges, bringing chaos in its wake. The narrative compels us to recognize the delicate line our societal norms walk and the profound impact of choosing structure over disorder. Simon's tragic truth. Meet Simon, a curious and introspective boy with untamed black hair. Unlike his peers, he often seeks solitude on the island where he finds himself. His gentle nature draws him to assist the younger children, helping them gather fruit as he wanders through the forest. Venturing deeper into the jungle, Simon stumbles upon a sunlit glade, a serene haven filled with the vibrant sounds of the island's wildlife. This quiet refuge serves as a personal sanctuary for Simon, offering him a moment of peace amidst the chaos of the stranded boys. However, this idyllic setting soon transforms into a nightmare. When Simon revisits the glade, he is confronted by a grotesque spectacle: a pig's head impaled on a stick, the aftermath of Jack and his savage crew's hunt. In a hallucinatory state, induced by epilepsy and dehydration, Simon engages in a chilling dialogue with the pig's head, now known as the Lord of the Flies, due to the cloud of decay circling it. The Lord of the Flies boasts of its identity as the beast within us all and warns Simon that he is unwelcome on the island. Overcome by terror, Simon faints, but awakens to a silent and haunting scene. Returning to the other boys, Simon discovers them immobilized by their fear of a supposed beast. A tragically mistaken dead soldier, tangled in rocks with a flapping parachute, has become the embodiment of their fears. In a moment of courageous innocence, Simon clambers up to the soldier's body, determined to reveal the truth. Yet, upon his return, frenzied paranoia grips the boys, and they mistake him for the very beast he sought to unmask. In their hysteria, they tragically kill Simon with their bare hands. To truly grasp the essence of Lord of the Flies, one must comprehend the role Simon plays. Unlike Ralph, who symbolizes civilization, or Jack, who embodies savagery, Simon is a symbol of spiritual purity and goodness. His interactions are sincere and selfless. He is closely connected to nature, willingly helps others, and finds solace in solitude. Yet, in the harsh world of the island, such goodness cannot endure. Simon's character journey mirrors the theme of lost innocence, highlighted by the stark contrast between the serene beginning and the maligned end of his beloved glade. The savagery that engulfs the other boys, turning playful innocence into murderous wildness, leaves no room for Simon's purity. His brutal death at the hands of the other boys, simply for revealing the truth about their imaginary monster, underscores the story's darker message: innocence is vulnerable to corruption. The monstrous visage of the Lord of the Flies, a macabre symbol perched in Simon's sanctuary, epitomizes evil. Through Simon's imagined conversation with this symbol, the narrative presents a profound question: does losing innocence expose us to external evils, or awaken the darkness within us that was always there? Simon's fate invites us to consider the inevitability of this inner conflict, a struggle that lurks within us all. Echoes of chaos. In a chilling portrayal of the dynamics at play within groups, a disturbing transformation unfolds on an isolated island as a group of boys becomes engulfed by the terrifying power of mob mentality. United initially by a shared mission, to hunt for the group's survival, these boys, led by Jack, slowly relinquish their identities to the collective frenzy of the crowd. Their chant, "Kill the pig, cut her throat, spill her blood," begins as a celebration of their hunting prowess but soon spirals into a vivid symbol of growing savagery and loss of individual conscience. As the boys' obsession with the hunt intensifies, the fundamental task of keeping a signal fire burning is forgotten, symbolizing the loss of reason and connection to the civilized world. Caught in the ecstatic madness of their actions, the boys celebrate their victories with chants that only grow more sinister, blurring the lines between game and gruesome reality. When their ferocity inadvertently targets Robert, and later the innocent Simon, the leap from hunting animals to attacking each other becomes clear in horrifying terms. Simon, a figure of innate goodness, meets a tragic fate as the mob's fear converts him into the beast they dread, a dread leading to his untimely death at the hands of his own peers. The descent into chaos is marked further by the brutal murder of Piggy, the voice of reason, and the painting of faces, erasing personal identities as the boys meld with the mob's collective force. Ralph, representing the flickering remnants of civilization, becomes the final target. His survival, a twist of fate, is marked by the timely arrival of a naval officer, a stark reminder of the broader themes of war and the inherent violence in humanity. This compelling narrative exposes the dark chasm between civilization and savagery, illustrating how fear and the allure of collective power can obliterate moral compasses and rational thought. The island becomes a microcosm reflecting the broader, often destructive human tendencies, where ideals like spiritual goodness, reason, and civilized order are not only overshadowed but actively annihilated by the overwhelming tide of mob rule. War's innocence lost. Amidst the chaotic backdrop of an unnamed global conflict, a group of boys crash lands on a desolate island, a microcosm of a world spiraling into disarray. From the moment of the crash, the hints of a looming nuclear catastrophe linger ominously, woven into the story like faint echoes of the adult world. Piggy, with his talk of a bothersome man with a megaphone and elusive salvation from soldiers, represents the boys' tenuous connection to a civilization teetering on the brink. These boys, unaware of the full extent of the war, grapple with their own fading innocence as they mistake a tragic parachutist's corpse for a monstrous beast. This symbol of death, caught and swayed by the wind, is an eerie mirror of their internal descent into savagery. As they are pulled into the chaos of their island society, the boundaries between child's play and barbarity blur, culminating in Ralph's desperate flight from Jack and his feral followers. Salvation arrives in the form of a naval officer who stands as a bitter reminder of adult hypocrisy. Shocked by their savage state, he ironically dismisses their descent as mere child's play, while his world is engulfed in the same sort of brutal warfare. His expectation that British boys should exhibit more decorum is a hollow testament to the arrogance and violence that plague the adult world, a world that Golding skillfully critiques. Set against the tense atmosphere of the early 1950s, when memories of World War II's atrocities lingered and the specter of nuclear annihilation loomed large, Golding's narrative reflects the period's anxiety about the fragile veneer of civilization. The boys' microsociety serves not as an isolated case but as a stark reflection of the adult world poised precariously between order and chaos. This tale is steeped in the uncomfortable truth: the evil lurking within humanity transcends age. As the boys wonder if adults would handle their situation with wisdom and peace, the narrative unravels this youthful idealism. The poignant irony lies in the fact that the very adults they idolize are embroiled in conflicts as irrational and savage as the boys' own. Ultimately, Golding presents a somber conclusion that savagery often overshadows civility and innocence inevitably succumbs to inherent human darkness. Yet, this narrative does not drown one in despair. Instead, it urges perseverance in the face of adversity. Just as Ralph fights against succumbing to chaos, there is an implicit call to maintain our struggle against the baser instincts of humanity. In Golding's gritty portrayal of society faltering under its own weight, there's a rallying cry to persist, to strive for a better world despite our inherent flaws.
As The Lord of the Flies reaches its dramatic conclusion, the stark realities of humanity's savage potential and the frailty of social order become impossible to ignore. Through the tragic fates of characters like Simon and Piggy, Golding powerfully illustrates the delicate threshold between civilization and barbarism. The conch shell's shattered remnants signify the collapse of structured society, while the haunting chant of the hunters underscores the dangers of groupthink and fear-driven violence. Golding's tale serves as a somber reflection on the post-World War context, challenging us to consider how thin the line between order and chaos truly is. Yet, in Ralph's unwavering fight against the darkness, readers find a glimmer of hope and resilience. Ultimately, this book leaves a lasting impression, urging readers to confront the innate potential for evil and to strive towards preserving our fragile civility in the unpredictable world around us.